Hi, Dave Brown here. Here's a highlight from our show, Now with Dave Brown on AMI-TV.
Welcome back to Now with Dave Brown on AMI-TV. I'm Alex Smythe with your Paralympic update. It was another jam-packed day of competition in Paris. 3 more medals have been added to Canada's tally. Katie Cosgriff took bronze in the 100-meter S10 butterfly race. Our very own Nathan Clement captured silver in the individual time trial, and Greg Stewart defended his gold medal in the F46 shot put. Men's wheelchair basketball won their quarterfinal match against the Netherlands and will face the U.S. in the semis. Boccia BC forward pair Allison Levine and Julian Kipino are off to the semis as well after defeating Ukraine 6-0 in the quarterfinals. Para-equestrian rider Roberta Sheffield finished 6th in her event, which qualifies her for the individual freestyle competition this weekend. Canada's women's goalball team has beaten Japan 1-0 to finish their competition in 5th place. Coming up on today's competition, women's wheelchair basketball continues as Canada faces Germany in the quarterfinals, and medals are up for grabs in the pool as Nicholas Bennett, Tess Rootliff, and Reed Maxwell are all set to compete in their finals today. That's your Paralympic update for today. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Alex. You just heard Mr. Smythe mention that Greg Stewart is golden again at the Paralympics in shot put, and Greg is here to reflect on another golden performance at the Paralympic Games. Greg, thank you for making the time this morning. Well, I guess it's this afternoon for you, and a major hearty congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dave. Super happy to be here.
How are you feeling right now?
I keep getting that question a lot right now, and I don't really have an answer. I would say, if anything, I feel calm. You know, we had a plan to go into these games today and just, you know, follow a few cue words and throw and see what happens. And I think we did just that.
When do you imagine the joy may set in? How long does it take? Because I imagine this might be a little bit of a decompression for you at this time.
Well, Tokyo, it took a while to really set in. And so I'm going to say it's going to take roughly the same amount of time this time around. But at the same time, that's a really great question. I don't really have an answer to it yet. It's just, it's so fresh. Like, I only competed like 3 or 4 hours ago.
And that's all that's all the more reason why I'm so glad you could join us today. I know if I had a life achievement moment, I don't know that I'd be talking to me on a national television show. I'd be doing something much, much different, especially if I was in Paris, probably something a little bit vino related and a couple baguettes and cheese. Greg, I'm always fascinated by sports like shot put because it's both extremely physical, but at the same moment, so technical and precise. How do you manifest that during your training?
Honestly, I compare shot put to golf so often because golf is one of those sports that if you really want to crank it, you have to try less. You know, you just got to be very fluid and just go with the flow. And shot put's the same way. You know, we train to lift heavy. We train to move a heavy shot as fast as we can. But one of the best things to throw far is to not try to throw it far and to just throw it. So, you know, it's a very unique sport that way. But, you know, this year, I'm a 38-year-old athlete now, and the focus was to be a little bit more health-minded so that I could not hurt nearly as much, because I don't know about you, but I don't know, when I turned 30, all of a sudden getting out of bed became a little bit more difficult. And now when I'm 38, it's even more difficult. So yeah, a lot of focus on health.
I had the 40th birthday last year, and I do enjoy a bit of clanging and banging at the gym, but it doesn't take as much to make a rotator cuff hurt or a lower back stiffen up these days. So how does that change for you if you're trying to be a bit more conscious or holistic in your health? Is that a different approach in the weight room? Is that diet? How do you approach that?
diet has always been a struggle for me, so that will be something come the next few months when I get back to it, changing. But more so, yeah, just I would say less in the weight room and more just in the mobility, the stability, ensuring that my joints, my body moves in the way it's supposed to move, flexibility and all that. So my coach Patrick and I have spent, we're typically 3 days a week just in the gym, just in terms of, strengthening our core, ensuring that we have decent balance, just, the common things, because, another issue that, when we get older is falling and whatnot. So we just want to ensure that our body feels good, that we feel healthy, so that we can continue just living our lives. And so that's kind of been that big focus.
And clearly there was some peaking at the right time here, because your golden throw today of 16.38 meters was also a season high. How did you end up approaching peaking at the right time? Because athletes talk about that, but executing that isn't always the same thing.
Yeah, kind of the focus is leading up to it, rest, honestly. I'd say about a week before my comp, you're getting in those few final big lifts. And then it's kind of training one day, off the next day, training one day, off the next day, to kind of get to the point where the competition day comes and you just get fired up. But there's one thing that for sure happens is competition adrenaline. It's a real thing. And there's no question to me that I was on it. Plus the fact that I was able to compete at a games where there was people in the stands versus COVID in 2020. That energy was electric, and to feel it and to take that feeling and apply it into force was a really beautiful feeling.
You had retired after the Tokyo Games and came back to compete in these games. Was the crowd, was the idea of performing in front of an audience part of the reason you came back?
Oh, 100%. I remember sitting down with my paralead, Carla Nichols, and she's like, you know what, I'm going to do my best to support you to get to Paris and allow you to experience a real Paralympic Games. And we did just that. But I'd say the other big thing that brought me back is I just don't think my journey in sport is over yet. I'm a motivational speaker, workshops and whatnot. And sport does an excellent job of really teaching us how to reflect and how to understand ourselves. And so, people in the stands and learning about, my fears and whatnot, I think is just going to propel me to continue to learn more of my story.
I was a little bit snarky when I talked about celebration before, mentioning that I was probably good. I would probably find some red wine and some cheese in a baguette. I know elite athletes would never put that kind of stuff in their body. What are the celebration plans? What's it like in the village when you come home with a gold around your neck?
It's quiet because there's still many athletes that need to compete. But I will definitely enjoy myself a nice cold beverage later tonight with my fiance and my family and coaches and whatnot. So, the feeling in the village is still very, hey, we're here to do the work. Let's, be patient. Let's tweak little things and let's go out and perform. And lucky enough for me, I've done that. And now I'm just going to go and enjoy the rest of these games because there's still incredible athletes out there that need to compete. Big shout out to good competitor and friend, Nate Reach. He's running the 1500 here for Canada. And I'm really looking forward to him. I think he's on the 7th. So he's also a reigning Paralympic champion. So good luck, Nate.
How much longer are you going to hang around? I know there's still a few days left of competition. How much longer will you hang around the village and hang around Paris?
I'm still trying to figure that part out. My fiance and I are going to be here till at least the 9th. Would like to attend the closing ceremonies. And then we're actually going to go on a pre-honeymoon down to Portugal for about 4 days before we fly home. I'm actually getting married on September 28th. So if you chose to compete in the Paralympic Games and plan a wedding all at the same time, I recommend not doing that. Not the best thing to do, but I'm really grateful that Taylor and I are able to, put our heads together and make things work.
I thought you were going to give a plug for the online registry there. Be like, hey, make this month a little bit more golden for me.
Hey, man, we don't have a registry, but if you want to send anything our way, Greg. Sure, yeah.
Those Interac e-transfers are a real thing, you know, anywhere in Canada. Hey, Greg, one last question on the way out the door here. Have you tried the chocolate muffin yet, this infamous chocolate muffin yet?
I have. I've had 1 1/4 so far. My coach, actually, Patrick, keeps giving me a hard time. He's like, hey, I hear those chocolate muffins are good. You want to bring me one? So I'll bring him one now.
And what was the verdict? You know, they looked a little bit like the Costco chocolate muffins to me.
100%. It's a Costco muffin, but also like the chocolate filled Tim Hortons one.
Oh,
so but I'm not gonna lie, you know, just because we were having this conversation, it's not quite as good as the Costco cookie.
Yeah, you know what, Greg, you're talking my language here. All the more reason as to why this interview can get wrapped up so I can go do some snacking. Congratulations again on the gold medal. Enjoy the rest of the time in Paris, and congratulations on the nuptials, dude. Have a lovely time.
Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for doing this as well. It's really cool to have it, you know, supporting the disabled community. And so continue doing what you're doing. We appreciate it.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say. Very, very lucky to be able to chase my professional dream in the way that you're chasing your athletic dreams. There's definitely some symmetry there. Greg Stewart is now a 2-time gold medalist in shot put. A huge congratulations to Greg. And of course, there will be lots more Paralympic coverage over the course of the next couple of days. And even when the whole thing wraps up, plenty of athletes to talk about and celebrate their successes. You can catch full episodes of Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on AMI TV.